Good afternoon. It is 1 o'clock at KDIO, and it is time for our second annual Radiothon to prevent child abuse in Big Stone County. You are listening to 1350 KDIO, Ortonville, Minnesota, an Armada media station.
My little girl met a new friend just the other day on the playground at school, between the tires and the swing. But she came home with tear-filled eyes, and she said to me, "Daddy, Alyssa lies." Well, I just busted off at first, 'cause I didn't know how much my little girl had been hurt, or the things she had seen. I wasn't ready when I said, "You can tell me." And she said, "Alyssa lies to the classroom. Alyssa lies every day at school. Alyssa lies to the teachers as she tries to cover every bruise." My little girl laid her head down that night to go to sleep. As I stepped out the room, I heard her say a prayer so soft and sweet. God bless my mom and my dad, and my new friend Alyssa. I know she needs you bad, because Alyssa lies to the classroom. Alyssa lies every day at school. Alyssa lies to the teachers as she tries to cover every bruise. I had the worst night of sleep in years, as I tried to think of ways to calm her fears. I knew just what it was I had to do, but when we got to school on Monday, I heard the news. My little girl asked me why everybody looked so sad. The lump in my throat grew bigger with every question that she asked, until I felt the tears run down my face. And I told her that Alyssa wouldn't be at school today, 'cause she doesn't lie in the classroom. She doesn't lie anymore at school. Alyssa lies with Jesus, because there's nothing anyone would do. Tears fill my eyes when my little girl asked me why Alyssa
This is the second annual Radiothon to prevent child abuse in Big Stone County and Big Stone City, and we welcome you as you join us this afternoon. Whether you're tuning in at 1350 KDIO or streaming, remember we have the streaming option on our website at bigstoneradio.com. We thank you for joining us. And we're going to start it right off with letting folks know our guest host this afternoon on the program is Kara Greger, who is with the Dream for Kids team. Good afternoon, Kara.
Good afternoon, Julie. It's great to be here and great to have our second annual Radiothon underway and get the balls rolling.
That's
and
right.
It feels really good. So.
And to get that ball rolling, we have the one, the only, the wonderful Gloria Larson on the phones this afternoon, also with the Dream for Kids group. Now, what we want you to do is call her. We want to put Gloria to work.
Yes.
And we're going to start out right away giving you the phone numbers to call in your pledges for the Radiothon. You don't have to bring them into KDIO right this minute. You can.
You can. That'd be great. Come on over.
But you don't have to do it right now. Right. Here's what you need to know. The phone numbers to call are 839-2581, 839-2582, and toll free 888-295-5346. That's 888-295-KDIO if you want to spell it out on your phone. And we want Gloria to go to work immediately.
Yes.
What you need to know is that your donations are not going to go anywhere besides right here in this area where they're needed.
Mm-hmm, definitely. And Gloria has already told us, she said, I don't want to just be sitting here hanging out, eating donuts. She wants to be working.
Who brought donuts?
I thought I saw some out there. I might be making that up, but there's cool window clings and stickers out there. So she's ready to give those away.
And for your donation of $40 or more, you will get a free car wash certificate for an ultimate car wash from S&D One Stop. Right here in Ortonville. Gloria has those too. So if you want to come and see her right now, you can. We are located at 706 2nd Street Southeast in Ortonville. We're in the Helping Hands Massage Building right across the street from Subway. You can bring your donations in now if you want to. We have a lot of information to share with you throughout the week and a lot of wonderful guests who will be joining us throughout the course of this week as well. Right away, I want to thank our sponsors, including, of course, the Dream for Kids team, Pro Image Partners, Ortonville Area Health Services, OK's Home Center, Knits Construction, The Hair Mechanic, KJ's Country Store, and S&D One Stop right here in Ortonville. Kara's going to get us going by stating the mission statement for the Dream for Kids organization.
So the mission of Dream for Kids. Dream for Kids team is a group of individuals who have a unified dream for children in the Big Stone County area. A dream where all children are able to grow up in a family and community that cares for, supports, and protects them as they grow to become healthy, responsible, and productive adults. Together, we are finding ways to assist the current community supports available, developing new ones to fill gaps, and educating the public on how we can all join hands to realize that dream for area children. We welcome any and all who share our dream.
Go tell your friends and neighbors to turn on their radios or get their computers streaming right now as we get started with our program today. We will be joined in just a few minutes by Allison Fay, who is going to be the featured keynote speaker at the Candlelight Walk and Vigil for the prevention of child abuse. That is coming up next Monday in Clinton.
It is next Monday in Clinton, so definitely put that on your calendar and plan to be there. We'll be starting our walk at 5:30 p.m. and we'll start at the Clinton School. So join us there if you plan to participate in the walk. We'll get you a sticker and a ribbon to participate, and then we will start the walk at 5:30 p.m. and walk to the Clinton Memorial Building, where at the Clinton Memorial Building we will have a meal for you. It's a free meal. Bring your kids, bring everybody in the family. And then after the meal, we will separate the kids to go watch a puppet show about child abuse prevention. And then the adults will stay and listen to Allison Fay's speech. And her speech is called Hope is a Verb. And it's a program that talks about real things that people can do in the community to prevent child abuse. It's a really hands-on technique presentation that she talks about taking the fear out of child abuse prevention. So it's not a fear-based program. It's something to empower people and make you feel like you really have the ability to end child abuse in your community. So join us for that. And then after that, we will bring everyone back together and we will have our candlelight vigil and just take a moment to remember those who have been affected in our area, those who are currently being affected. And that's what the program is for that event. So come and join us.
I do want to add to our information that in case you miss something or you know somebody who can't tune in right now, we are recording these programs in their entirety. And then we are going to have a YouTube site set up where you can go and listen back to all of the information that we're presenting today and each day this week during our Radiothon.
Yeah.
So,
and the other great thing about Allison is she's also coming to the local schools, and she's going to give a presentation at the local schools called Empower Me, and it talks a lot about internet safety with kids, which is a big topic right now. You know, that's a big avenue for those who want to, you know, it's a scary place out there. It's a wonderful tool, but it's also a lot of information and a lot of people out there using it. So she's going to be at CGB. She's going to be at Ortonville. So she'll also be bringing the message to your kids.
excellent.
Yeah, which is excellent.
We are going to visit with Allison in just a minute. But before we do that, we're going to take a quick break. We'll hear from some of our sponsors. We want to put Gloria to work out in the front office. Let's get that phone ringing. 839-2582 is the number to use right now because we have the other line tied up with our interview. 839-2582. Call Gloria and pledge your support to end child abuse right here in Big Stone County. Kara and I will be back, and Allison will join us in just a moment.
Of Ortonville continues to work to make our store the place you enjoy coming to. This is why we have the need for another team member to join the team. That's right, we are growing once again. This time we have a full-time opening in our food service area for the position of manager. You will oversee the food service area of Hot Stuff Pizza and Eddie Peppers, including but not limited to hiring and training of our staff, inventory controls, small amount of paperwork and reporting, no previous food experience needed, but a desire to learn and teach, have an organized nature, and a leadership skills. Apply today at the Ortonville S&D1 stop.
Pro Image Partners. Pro Image Partners. So many reasons why you can turn to us. We'll help you show your pride. You want the best for work or play. We're your one-stop image shop. We'll help you show your pride. ProImagePartners.com.
Welcome back to our second annual Radiothon here on KDIO. It is my pleasure this afternoon to welcome to the KDIO phone lines Allison Fay, who, as Kara just told us, is going to be the keynote speaker at the walk next Monday in Clinton. Let's say good afternoon to Allison.
Good afternoon. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate this opportunity to talk with you, Allison.
Of course.
Let's start off getting a little bit of background information, kind of get to know you.
Well, I have been with the Jacob Wetterling Resource Center since 2001. Prior to that, I worked at the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children in Washington, D.C. I actually majored in missing children. You can design your own major at St. Olaf's College in Northfield. So I had that as my major. And then I have my master's degree in criminal justice. And I very much enjoy doing prevention work.
Okay.
Great.
Kara has said that you will be visiting our area schools here as well, as long as you're going to be in the area. So can you tell us when those visits will be?
I have a wide variety of different locations that I'm going to be at on the Monday and Tuesday here, coming up here. I'm pulling that all up. So I will be in different schools, Ortonville and James Knoll on Monday, and then ISP 622, and then Tuesday I will be in Graceville and Clinton. So different schools on the 14th and 15th of April.
What exactly does your job entail, Allison?
Most of my job is focused on prevention. I do a lot of public speaking, policies, trying to help make youth serving organizations safer. And then I also supervise our case management staff as well, because we work with families who need our help if a child goes missing or if a child's been exploited, and we try to help them navigate through the system. So for me, it's a good blend because most of my work is being out in the community and trying to get on the front end of the problem. And then we also have staff that I work with that helps when pick up pieces if things don't go well. So we're able to use what we learn in our cases to help prevent these patterns from repeating. So if we have a case where a child goes missing, we can take what we've learned, because we're all about people walking around smart and not scared. All of our presentations are proactive and positive and leave parents and caregivers feeling energized and not disheartened.
Okay.
That's a great message. So with the Empower Me presentation, because that is what you'll be presenting at the schools on Monday and Tuesday, is that correct?
Correct.
And so can you just give us a little synopsis of what that program is about?
Sure. Well, first of all, we don't teach stranger danger because it doesn't work. In almost every case of abuse and abduction, the child knows the person. So we focus on what your gut instinct is, that animals have a gut instinct that helps keep them safe, and how children have that uh-oh feeling, and what we do when our uh-oh feeling goes off. Instead of focusing on do we know the person or not, we focus on is this person asking me to break my safety rules. So we go through a wide variety of safety rules like checking first, buddy system, those kinds of things. And then we followed up with what-if scenarios, because the more interactive these presentations are, the more that the young people get out of them. So we sort of have gotten rid of the whole idea of do we know this person or not, and instead we focus on how does this person act, how does this person make me feel, and are they asking me to do something that breaks my rules? And if so, who are the 5 grown-ups I can talk to for help? And we go through those trusted adult lists as well.
Oh, great. That sounds great. So then I know at the walk on Monday night you're planning to do the presentation called Hope is a Verb. Can you give us a little about what that program is about as well?
Of course. Well, Patty Wetterling is one of my mentors in this work, obviously. She and Jerry started the Jacob Wetterling Resource Center in 1990 following the abduction of their son Jacob, who was a classmate of mine. And so when Jacob was taken, the community, St. Cloud, St. Joseph, that whole area latched on to the idea of Jacob's hope and how we're going to hope for a better world, but part of that hope is to roll up our sleeves and actually do something about it. Hope isn't an inactive sitting back and hoping that the world gets better for kids. It's about learning what we can do as community members, as leaders, as caring adults, to actually put procedures in place to make it easier for kids to tell and to help create safer worlds for our kids. So the Hope is a Verb focuses, it sort of moves us away from what we're afraid of and focuses on what we can do to help build a safer world for children. And it's a really energizing, positive presentation to be involved in, and I love the energy that I get back from the community when they start coming up with their own ideas and thinking of initiatives that they can take on based on what we've seen work in other communities.
That sounds great. I know that's one thing we've held different forums in our community, and we've had, this is our 5th annual walk against child abuse here. And that's the one thing that our community members have really said. They say, what can we do? You're telling us that there's child abuse in our community, that it is affecting everyone. What can we do? And that's one thing Dream for Kids is really excited that you're coming here, Allison, because it sounds like it's a real take-home message for the people of this community.
That's hopefully the whole point of the
Yeah,
presentation.
exactly.
So if
That's
it's done well, people will be leaving saying, here are my 3 take-home steps, or here's how I'm going to do a family safety night, or this is how I'm going to help support a mentoring agency in our community to help provide, these skills or things like that, because
right.
It can get disheartening dealing with some of the worst scenarios in the world every day, in the work that we do here. But we're balanced with the fact that we remember that there's way more good guys out there.
Yeah.
Yeah. We have the little ones list who are their 5 grown-ups they can go to if they have a problem, and some of them are raising their hand and say, I have 15,
yeah.
I have 20,
That's
and
awesome.
it's that idea of we need to celebrate what's working and not just focus on where we're stuck. And if we can celebrate what's working, we can move forward together in making a safer world for our kids.
And that's what we're working on right now as we have our Radiothon on the air. If you want to call in a pledge right now, Gloria Larson is sitting at the phones, 839-2582. We're encouraging pledges. We're encouraging challenges.
Challenges, yes.
We would love to challenge other people in our community to take a stand on this issue as well. And you're going to be able to take home a little something, too, if you
Right.
donate $40 or more. We're offering you a free car wash. It's an ultimate car wash from S&D One Stop in Ortonville. We'll be talking more, too, about how these funds are going to be utilized. We have lots of information on that coming up throughout the week. One of the ways the funds were utilized was to bring Allison to our
Right.
area.
Yes, some of the schools are using that funding to bring Allison to their school. So these funds that we're collecting, you know, it's important work and it's important messages that are being brought home to our community. So please pledge in whatever amount you can. You know, it can be $10, $5, it can be $20, $100, and then challenge your friends and family. I know last year we had a grandparents challenge, which was great.
We had business challenges.
Business challenges, county employee challenges, 4-H club challenges, resorts along the lake. So please pledge this year.
To
again.
me, it's worth it just to talk to Gloria
Oh, yeah.
because she's always so happy.
She is. She's a great person to chat with. And, you know, come and get we have nice stickers, Dream for Kids stickers that show that you donated, and window clings to put on your car or at your home to show your support.
Yep, we just want to spread the word and make sure that we make a difference in somebody's life in our community. As I mentioned earlier, all of the money that we're raising stays right here in Big Stone County, or Big Stone City is also included in that,
Right.
to help make the difference in the life of someone you know. 839-2582 is the number to call right now. We are visiting with Allison Fay, who is going to be the featured speaker next Monday at the Candlelight Walk and Vigil to prevent child abuse. And Allison has some great topics she's going to be discussing, even with your kids in the schools next week. So it's a pleasure to be able to welcome her. And I'm wondering, Allison, do you have some examples that we can use? You mentioned that kids are asked to write down
Trusted adults.
trusted adults. What are some other things we can do to help keep our children safe?
Well, one of the big things is we know most kids don't disclose abuse for a wide variety of reasons.
Yeah.
For shame, for feeling like they did something wrong, for not knowing who to tell. And so one way of making it easier for children is to have a conversation ongoing, you know, throughout their lives, just reminding them that they have the right to feel safe, and that they're special and they deserve to be safe. And if anyone ever does something that makes them feel scared or confused, it's not their fault, and that they can come and talk to you about it, and that you'll help them with a plan to sort of help make it easier for them, because some kids don't know how to tell, they don't know who to tell, they don't know that they feel like they did something wrong. And so if we can make it easier for young people by starting young and just saying, you know what, you're special, you deserve to be safe. If you're ever feeling scared or unsafe, please come and tell me so we can work on this together. And then to respond for the little things. You know, if they don't like it when grandma pinches their cheeks and they tell that to you, if the response is, well, it's grandma, so move on, that's very different than saying, yeah, you're right, that probably does hurt. Let's tell grandma we'd prefer hugs, and I'll be there with you, and we can do that instead. And so making it easier for young people to have those conversations by starting them young and having them ongoing is really helpful.
Right. So those are good. So I know you had the rules. You had sent something to Karen Mack and myself. This is Kara, by the way. Hi, Allison. So I know you had sent the safety rules. Can you go over those? I think it was 5 or 6 safety rules that you had
some
sent.
of the safety rules that we teach is it's some of the basics of we believe it's a kid's job to be a kid,
Right.
and it's the grown-up's job to keep them safe. So in that context, kids check first before they go into a car with anyone. Kids check first before they go to someone's house. It's not up to the child to figure out, is this someone I should be worried about? Is this not? Is this, the child just says, I'm going to this person's house, and then, the parent does the extra work. So part of that is helping the child meet you halfway by saying, check first before you get into a car, before you get into a vehicle. And we also spend a lot of time talking about bodies and talking about touches. We don't use bad touch, good touch, because child psychologists have told us that if children have been touched in what they think are bad ways, they're less likely to talk about it because they think they're bad. So instead, we just talk about touches, and we know that our private parts are different from the rest of our body, the parts of our body covered by our bathing suit, and that the only time anyone would ever need to touch those parts of our body is to keep us clean and healthy. And when it's a clean and healthy touch, we're allowed to tell anyone we want to about it. And so we help young people with that. We teach them sort of that basic premise, and we follow it up with some what-if scenarios to make sure that they get that. Because we want this stuff to be manageable for kids and not scary. Just like when we teach fire safety, we don't tell kids what a third-degree burn feels like on your body. You know, we just say we don't play with matches, and if someone's trying to get us to play with matches, please come and let me know. It's the same kind of stuff. You know, we don't go into someone's car without checking first. If someone's trying to make us do that, come and let me know. Or, you know, grown-ups ask other grown-ups for help. So if a grown-up's asking you for help with their lost puppy or trying to, you know, find directions, take 2 steps back and come find a grown-up. So just, you know, those kinds of basic messages. We want kids to walk around knowing that most grown-ups want them to be safe. But if there is a time when they're feeling scared or confused, here are the steps to take.
Okay. What is one message that you would have us take with us today from our visit with you?
That prevention works. You know, a lot of people feel like that child abuse is going to always be a major issue and is always going to be something that, you know, can impact lives and be this when it happens, it does definitely have a lifelong impact, and I think some people have just assumed that this will always be a problem. And our agency truly believes child abuse can be prevented. And if we teach professionals, if we teach parents, if we, you know, work on engaging bystanders, if we work on preventing offending behavior, you know, if all these different areas, if we can tackle them, then we really are creating a safer world for kids. And I don't want people to, you know, throw their hands up and say, well, it's always going to be this way. We look at how we've been able to reduce other problems. You know, everybody now buckles up. That used to not be something that we did as a safety measure. And so I want people to know that prevention is possible, prevention can happen, and that we really need your voice and your energy in helping turn the tide on behalf of our kids.
Wow. Good stuff.
Yes, very good stuff.
Looking forward to seeing you next Monday, Allison. Yes. Thank you so much for taking the time to visit with us today. You had mentioned, before we go, prevention works. But what are some signs that we can look for that a child may be in trouble?
Well, parents and caring adults need to allow their own gut instinct. You know, the parental gut instinct is a powerful force. You don't want to step in the way of a mama bear or a papa bear defending their cub. And humans have those same instincts when something is going wrong. The problem is, the older we get, the more we use logic to contradict our gut. And so to allow your gut to lead when you're talking about safety and you're talking about your child and let your brain catch up later isn't bad advice. And I think, you know, there are always the signs of, you know, if a child has difficulty concentrating and regresses with bedwetting and doesn't want to do activities they used to like to do, those are things to be aware of. But it's also about having those ongoing conversations so that your child knows that they can come to you with these topics, and to allow your own intuition. You know, don't leave your child alone with someone who makes you feel uncomfortable. You can always insert yourself into situations as you let your brain catch up to your gut.
Okay. If folks are interested in more information, is there a website or something they can go to?
Yeah, the Jacob Wetterling Resource Center, we are jwrc.org. And there's PDF handouts and how to do a family safety night and what-if game examples. We also have a Facebook page, Jacob Wetterling Resource Center. When a child goes missing, we make sure to try to get that face out as best and as quickly as we can. And social networking has been a big help for us in that way. There's a lot of problems with social networking when it comes to the other element of prevention, but it's also can be a big positive when it comes to getting the word out quickly about missing people.
All right. Allison, thank you again so much for the time today. We sure appreciate it.
Of course. And good luck with your event. I look forward to seeing you all next week.
Yes.
Thank you.
See you next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Allison Fay joins us on our Radiothon today. Now, Now we have both phone lines
There we
open.
go.
All right. Let's
So-
put Gloria to work.
Yes, let's call Gloria. It's 839-2581 or 839-2582, or you can call toll free at 888-295-5346. Put Gloria to work. She wants to be busy, so.
Now, we do want to mention the other ways that you can get your donations in. Of course, we want you to call so that we have an idea
Right.
of where we're at. We want to challenge other people to
Right.
donate, but you don't have to bring them to KDIO because you have some other options here. See, we've opened this up. We've got all kinds of things for you. You can mail your donations to KDIO at 706 Southeast 2nd Street. You can also mail them to our Big Stone County Family Services Office. That is 340 Northwest 2nd Street.
Go ahead.
go ahead.
In Nortonville. And you can also come over here, drop off your donations at KDIO or at S&D1 Stop. They have a donation box there on their front counter. So just go and drop off your donation. If you need a receipt, because we do, it is a nonprofit, so you can, put that on your tax form. And so we can give you a receipt, but be sure to give us an address so we can get that receipt to you.
Absolutely. Now, I've talked with Vicki Oakes, who shares our office space here at the Helping Hands Massage Building, and she has told me, she's assured me, if the doors are unlocked, one of us is here, you can come in. Yeah. And we will get you taken care of. If you have a car wash certificate coming, we'll get you that at the time. If you mail in your donation, we can mail your car wash certificate to you as well. Don't think you'll miss out if you don't drop it off in person, because we'll make sure that we follow up and get whatever it is you have coming to you. If you're going to take the time to donate, we want to make sure that you're rewarded.
And we want to recognize you on the radio, too.
We do.
We want to bring, talk about your challenge and get the word out to other people so they can follow up on that challenge. So get us that information so we can bring it up on the radio. So
spread the word, too.
Yes,
let your friends know what we're doing, because we can't do this alone.
No.
They always say, Kara, it takes a village to raise a child.
It does.
That's what we're doing right now. We're putting this whole village together.
Yep.
And we want you to be a part of making the difference in the life of a child in Big Stone County or Big Stone City. This week is your chance. And it doesn't have to be a huge donation.
No. $5, $10, whatever you can. Start at whatever level you can, and then challenge others. So your $5 can become another, $30 with other people's challenges. It'll grow.
Take up an office pool.
Yes.
We'll take it.
Yep, definitely. Bring it on over and we'll share it. So, last year I want to share too what the funds were used for last year. So, last year was our first year. We really didn't know what we were doing, but we did a great job. Julie did a great job. Brent did a great job. All the guests did. And it was an idea that was brought to the Dream for Kids team, and we were able to work with Julie to make it come true. And so last year we raised $4,621.43. So let's try to make at least $5,000 this year.
That'd be awesome.
That would be great. And with our first year, we were able to give the money. We split it 4 ways. A fourth of it was given to CGB school funds, and a fourth was given to OHS school funds, and another fourth was given to Big Stone City School, and the last fourth was given to Big Stone Family Services. And what the funds were used for at CGB, they used it as a fund to help kids that couldn't afford footwear for their school. All the activities that kids are involved in, track, football, baseball, all those things, basketball, that's expensive to be in sports.
It is.
And not all families and not all kids can afford it. So they helped those kids who couldn't afford it by helping them purchase those items. Gas for transportation to school for some of those kids, activity photos, graduation ceremony needs, and other school supplies like notebooks and folders. So that's what CGB used it for. To help those kids in need. And, kids in need, they're not the type to come and ask for it. So school officials would see that there was a need and would help those kids out and make them not feel guilty about not being able to afford
Or self-conscious.
or self-conscious, you
Yeah.
know. So it was a great way for CGB to use the funds. OHS schools, what they used their funds were to bring Allison Faye to the school this year. So that's a direct result of the Radiothon last year, was bringing Allison Faye to OHS this year. And Big Stone City schools used their funds for their backpack program and buying school supplies for their students, funds to help kids go on school functions such as ski trips, field trips, or participate in school activities, because they don't want kids to not be able to afford. If their family cannot afford to send them to these activities, they don't want those kids to be left out. So it helped them out a lot. And then Big Stone Family Services, their funds were used to start a mentoring program for kids in Big Stone County. So that's how your funds were used last year. And this year we plan to do some of the same. And we're also going to ask if people have needs that they are looking to fund a program in Big Stone County, that they apply. We have the Dream for Kids has a form to fill out to apply for funds for your special program that will help kids and families in Big Stone County. So,
Kara, as you're mentioning all of those things, the one question that I think our listeners probably are asking is, well, how does that make a difference for children who are in abusive situations? How does all of that help these families?
right. And how it helps those families, like the number one stress that can lead to child abuse is, stress on a family in monetary needs. If they cannot help to, buy certain items, if they can't buy enough food to feed their family, that's going to stress their family. And the parents not knowing how to deal with that stress may take it out on their children. It's unintentional, but some of those things can cause that tension in the family. Or if their child comes up to them and says, I need, $200 basketball shoes, that the family can't afford that can cause some stress in a family. This will help alleviate that stress in families by providing these funds for those kids.
All right. We need to take another break on our program. I need to hear that phone ringing.
Yes.
839-2581, 839-2582, toll free, 888-295-5346. Let's get those phones ringing. Let's get Gloria to work out there in the main office, and let's get some pledges rolling to help out the folks in our county and in Big Stone City. We need to do everything we can to make a difference in our community. It starts right here. It starts with you, and it starts right now. We'll be back in just a little bit.
Have you heard the latest news? Yes, it's true. Northridge Residence in Ortonville is now offering a $2,000 hiring bonus for newly hired CNAs joining our team working a regular part-time or full-time block. Yes, I said $2,000. Bonus will be paid in increments throughout your first year. OAHS offers competitive wages, paid time off, and great benefits. To learn more, please call Judy at 320-839-4175. That number again is 320-839-4175, or apply online at oahs.us.
Spring is finally here. It's a perfect time to pick out new flooring. OK's Home Center has a great selection of top name brands of carpet and linoleum: Mohawk, Golium, Airstep, Target, and Metro Flooring. Parents with graduations coming up, now's the time to get that new flooring. If you want to shop around, you'll find OK's prices and selections are comparable or better than most. Save time and stop first at OK's Home Center. They offer in-store installation and stand behind what they sell. If you have a smaller room, check out their low prices on carpet remnants. OK's Home Center in Ortonville.
Dear Mr. Jesus, I just had to write to you. Something really scared me when I saw it on the news. A story about a little girl beaten black and blue. Jesus, thought I'd take this right to you. Dear Mr. Jesus, a big day off, I pray. Please don't let them hurt your children. We need love and shelter from the storm. Please don't let them hurt your children. Won't you keep us safe and warm? Dear Mr. Jesus, they say that she may die. Oh, will help the doctors stop the pain. I know that you could save her and take her up to the sky, so she would never have to hurt again. Please don't let them hurt your children. We need love and shelter from the storm. Please don't let them hurt your children. Won't you keep us safe and warm? Dear Mr. Jesus, please tell me what to do. And please don't tell my daddy, but my mommy hits me too. Please don't let them hurt your children. We need love and shelter from the storm. Please don't let them hurt your children. Won't you keep us safe and
Please don't let them hurt your children. They need love and shelter from the storm. Please don't let them hurt your children.
Won't you keep us safe and warm?
Welcome back as we continue our second annual Radiothon for the prevention of child abuse in Big Stone County and Big Stone City. Before we move on, we do have some more guests joining us on the program. We have Pam Rood here from Big Stone County Family Services, and we have Susie Kleindl joining us as well. But before we talk with them,
Yes.
we want to share who's stepped up to the plate so far.
Yes, we have our initial donators to the Radiothon. Yay!
Yay!
Big claps. Whoa, there went the pen flying. We're throwing things around here. We're getting wild and crazy. So
We're just celebrating.
We're just celebrating the second annual. So our first donator was Ann Ton.
Yeah, Anton.
Anton.
Pastor Dave and Ann.
Anton, yes.
Ann actually came here
Yes,
and
she
dropped
came
off the
here and
donation.
dropped off her donation. The next one is Peterson Chiropractic. So thank you for donating. Betty Severson. And then the next donation is from Carrie Dory, and she has a challenge. So her challenge is to challenge every member of Ortonville Early Childhood Initiative to donate $20. So
Do it.
meet that challenge. You can't let Carrie beat you on this challenge.
No.
So, come on, $20 ECI.
It only takes a few of us to
few
get
of
this
us, yep.
rolling. And
Yeah.
absolutely, we want to see as many donations come in as possible.
Yes, give us a call at 839-2581 or 839-2582 or toll free 888-295-5346 and show your support right now.
That's right. Gloria's sitting idle. I don't like to have people in my office doing nothing.
Because we're paying Gloria so much.
Yeah. Her and all of the other Dream for Kids members who have stepped up to the plate to help out with this week. Kara, who else is going to be here?
Oh, we've got great people coming this week. We have, let me get my schedule because I can't remember anything unless I write it down. Tomorrow, Gloria gets to be on the air. So you get to hear Gloria from 1 to 2. So listen. And on the phones will be Naomi Ballard. She's new to the community and new to Dream for Kids. So
Okay.
give Naomi a call and talk to her. And then Wednesday, Brent will be here. Brent Olson, the county commissioner, will be here too.
One of my favorite people.
Yep, co-host. He always brings food. Julie was a little disappointed when I came in the door and I didn't have any food.
And then you talk about donuts.
I
And
know,
I'm like,
and
where are
then-
those?
The
Yeah.
imaginary donuts. So Brent will be here Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday on the air with Julie.
By
So-
special request.
By special request. So
Yes.
he'll be doing a lot of talking because Julie will be eating her, treats from his office and stuff. So, and then on the phones on Wednesday, we have Cindy Nelson will be manning the phones. She's a Dream for Kids member as well. And then Naomi will come back on Thursday, and then I will be here manning the phones on Friday.
All right. All those folks are Dream for Kids members, and throughout the course of the week, we'll tell you how you can be a Dream for Kids member too.
Yes.
But every single one of you can be a part of the solution right now. If you call 839-2581, 839-2582, or toll free 888-295-5346 and show your support for our second annual Radiothon to prevent child abuse in Big Stone County. We want to welcome in from Big Stone County Family Services. Pam Root is here. Good afternoon.
Hello.
And she brought Susie Kleindl along as well. Good afternoon to you.
Hi, how are you doing?
Good, thank you. We're going to find out some things that are happening at Big Stone County Family Services, some programs that you have going on. We're going to talk a little bit about prevention of child abuse and just how Family Services gets involved in these type of situations.
Okay, well, first I do want to start with a huge thank you to all the donations that were received last year. At Big Stone County Family Services, we were able to take that money and put it towards the development of our mentor program that we're soon to be offering to a variety of different families within our community. It's not going to be open to the public. They are going to be specific to individuals that we work with within our county. But we know that if children can get involved and be connected to other people in their community and adults and be provided with positive interactions, that we have better outcomes.
So is it kind of like a Big Brother, Big Sister program?
That's, without that title, that is very much what it's about. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
When do you plan to have that up and running?
I'll let Susie answer that.
Okay.
It would be our choice probably to have it going this summer. You know, kids have a lot of idle time in the summer, and to make some of those connections when there's more time and not really having to work around school schedules and sports schedules and that kind of thing. Hopefully that can get underway shortly. So.
Okay.
And we would always be looking for adults to volunteer to be mentors. So yeah, if you have that interest, and it doesn't take much at all, a couple hours a month even. Just give our office a call and we will set you up with the people you need to be in contact with. So.
What is your phone number?
At the agency, the number is 320-839-2555.
All right. Anyone special they should ask for, or an extension or anything?
They can ask for me, or they can ask for Karen Mack.
Okay. Very good.
So are you looking for female or male volunteers, or both?
Absolutely
How is that?
Anybody.
Okay. What about teenagers? You want them to be older than 21? Is that, or older than 18? Is that kind of a requirement?
I think that's probably the best. People would have to go through a background check just
Okay.
to make sure that they're appropriate to be working with kids. So over 18 would be best.
Okay. What else do we have today?
Well, there's a couple other projects that are going on at our agency. Out of the Department of Human Services, they have now funded the Parent Support Outreach Program, which our agency is able to provide. And it's a service we've always been able to provide, but now the state is providing funding, so we have more ability to provide the service. I will let Susie talk about what Parent Support Outreach is, but it really focuses on the intervention and the prevention instead of waiting for child abuse or a bad situation to happen before we can get involved. It's much more
Proactive?
very proactive, and historically the state has been more reactive instead of proactive, so we're excited to be encouraging this. So I'll let Susie explain what Parent Support Outreach is about.
All right.
Right. So Parent Support Outreach is a completely voluntary program. It's for people who maybe we've gotten a report and it doesn't quite meet that criteria that by law we can investigate or something like that. But there may be some risk factors or some concerns there, and so we can offer those families the Parent Support Outreach Program. Also, it doesn't have to come in that way. Obviously, if somebody has a concern about a neighbor or somebody they're working with or whatever, that's great. But it can also be parents who just, they're struggling with maybe financial difficulties or struggling with discipline or struggling with other issues that if not tended to could potentially lead to maltreatment factors. And so just for people who are looking for a little extra help to kind of prevent some of those situations, a child in the family has to be 9 or younger to be eligible for this program. It doesn't necessarily have to be the child that the parent is calling about, but if there's a child under that age in the home, then the family could be eligible for that. The worker will do a strengths and needs assessment with the family, and they will jointly come up with a plan for what it is that they need and how we can help alleviate those risk factors. So,
what are the risk factors that you look out for?
It really can be so many things. It's any risk factors that could lead to an abusive situation. Not necessarily saying that these things always do, but some of the things include a history of child protection issues, some poverty, unattended mental health issues, chemical dependency, domestic abuse situations. Really, it can be any need that a family has, could potentially lead to a dangerous situation. So,
how can folks get involved with that, or what do they need to do?
That would also just be a phone call to our office and just say that they're interested in the Parent Support Outreach Program, and we can line them up with somebody who can help them with that.
Okay.
So.
Excellent.
I would have to say child protection over the years has really changed its focus from being, investigative and negative to being very a teachable time for families. We get involved with resources. We don't come in full force. There are some situations where we do have to go in and truly investigate. Now we just do more of assessments. What's going on, what's happening, what can we do to, what's the stressors, what can we do to reduce them. So one of our goals is to make child protection not so scary. Families are like, child protection is involved, and really that shouldn't be a scary thing. We have a lot of resources and services to help families.
But I think the stigma goes with that if child protective services are called in, I'm going to lose my kids.
And that is so false. But yes, I know it's still there. Yeah.
Yeah.
That is the last resort. There's so many services we can provide to families before we get to that point.
How do you decide? What are the criteria that you look at to say, we want to do a little assessment here? What kinds of things do you pay attention to?
The state of Minnesota has a child protection screening guideline.
Okay.
And so really any number of things. I think it would be impossible to come up with every scenario that could possibly be an issue. But, thinking about the summertime coming up, there are a lot of concerns about how old children can be left home alone or how long can they be home alone. And so those are some of the calls that we get, especially coming into this time of the year. So, some of those things. Otherwise, there's always concerns about kids with physical abuse and neglect and those types of situations. But every situation is so different and so unique that it's really hard to put it in a nice little package. So.
Oh, I'm sure. Absolutely. What else do we need to mention from the family services aspect?
I think that it's a good thing that so far this year our agency has worked or is working with 57 families to help put some of those things in place to make families stronger, to promote well-being, and that in and of itself with a strong family is going to help prevent child abuse. So yeah, most of those families that we are working with have been in the children's mental health arena. And that's families coming in and just requesting services for their child. If there's a mental health diagnosis, or if you're not sure if there's a mental health diagnosis, we can certainly help you in figuring that out and what services could be beneficial.
So with that, with the mental health, would they come to you before going to their local doctor? Is that kind of something that usually comes from first going to your local doctor and then being referred to family services? How does that usually work?
I think it's both ways. It
Okay.
really is. Some people will go to their doctor and their doctor sees a need for maybe some further services, and so they will refer them to us. And sometimes they'll just come to us, and we may be referring them to the doctor. So
Right.
it's really nice to have a strong team, a local team, to kind of go back
Right.
and forth with. So
Definitely. Because you kind of need both agencies or both groups to make that diagnosis together.
right, absolutely, yep. And the more people that we can have on the same page for a child and a family, the more people
Right.
that's in that support network, the better for everybody.
Right. And it
Absolutely.
seems like there's a lot of community support. That's something I've been impressed with in the Big Stone County area. I'm, not from around here. And growing up, a lot of these things weren't talked about in my community.
No.
It was, even like the mental health aspects, those weren't talked about.
Those are things that we were brought up to say we don't discuss this
No, you
because
don't.
it's unusual.
Right.
It's out of the ordinary.
Right. And it's so refreshing that we're bringing these out. We're taking this time and this opportunity to bring them out. Like last week, Autism Awareness Day was April 2nd. People were encouraged to wear blue. And then we also did National Child Abuse Prevention Day, April 4th, and bringing the awareness to our communities. So it's really good.
Yes.
One thing I would like to say too at Family Services is because of the stigma and different things, I would encourage families to make us or let us be your first call for help. Don't let us be your last call, because there's so many things we can do ahead of time. Whether that's for children or all the way up to the elderly. There's a lot of services we provide. We're not a scary place. Come on in. We'll let you know what resources we have available, whether it's financial help, social services help. There's so many things we can do, and oftentimes we're the last call.
Right.
And if we were the first call and could get involved sooner, we could be providing more services to individuals and, help people stay at home, get on the right track, and be doing better.
Yeah.
Is that the thought that we should leave the public with today?
That would be great. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Susie Kleindl and Pam Rude joining us here on our Radiothon. We're going to be back to wrap it up here in just a moment.
KJ's Country Store in Clinton, Minnesota is open 7 days a week, and you'll find tasty burgers, roasted chicken, plus daily specials. Come try the best soft serve ice cream in the entire county. The food at KJ's is always prepared fresh with only the best ingredients. KJ's Country Store is most certainly the restaurant that just happens to sell gas. The friendly and courteous staff is dedicated to making each visit a pleasant and filling experience for you. Visit KJ's Country Store today in Clinton, Minnesota.
Lee at the Hair Mechanic is a proud supporter of the Dream for Kids Radiothon. Lee specializes in making men, women, and children look fabulous with traditional and trendy cuts and styles. The Hair Mechanic is located on Main Street of Ortonville and is proud to offer the latest styles in hair fashion for the entire family. So whether you're in need of a simple cut, maybe it's a shampoo, coloring, or style, Lee has the skill set to have you feeling confident with how you look. The Hair Mechanic, Main Street, Ortonville. It's time to enjoy your cuts and styles again.
Nitz Construction is proud to support the Dream for Kids Radiothon. The ultimate goal at Nitz Construction is to deliver excellent projects for all of their clients. The entire staff at Nitz Construction believes in a team-oriented approach that brings all aspects of the process together, focusing on the end result. Nitz Construction has been in business since 1999, licensed and insured in Minnesota and South Dakota. Contact Nitz Construction 320-305-1550 for a free estimate today.
Mark your calendar for Monday, April 14th. It is the 5th annual Dream for Kids Walk and Candlelight Vigil for the prevention of child abuse. If you're able to join the walk, it will begin in front of the Clinton School at 5:30, or you can meet at the Memorial Building in Clinton, where a free meal will be served, sponsored by the Loyal Order of the Moose Lodge number 407. Allison Fay, Program Coordinator for the Jacob Wetterling Resource Center and National Child Protection Training Center, will be speaking on hope, is a verb. Our hope that children will grow up safe and strong needs to be supported by our actions. We must be proactive and positive in building a world worthy of our children. The CGB Honors Society Students and Early Childhood Initiative will provide supervised children's activities during Allison's talk. The candle lighting ceremony will end the event. Please plan to attend on Monday, April 14th. Kids are depending on all of us.
I know you're there. I know you're hiding in the dark because you're scared. You want the pain to stop, but no one cares. You tried to tell the one you love, but they won't believe. The cross you bear, the mask you wear, the hurt that makes you cry yourself to sleep. When will someone see? It shouldn't hurt, it shouldn't hurt, it shouldn't hurt to be a child. Please hear my words, it shouldn't hurt, it shouldn't hurt to be a child. You can run to me, I'll put my...
It is just after 2 o'clock as we're ready to wrap up today's first edition of our second annual Radiothon to prevent child abuse in Big Stone County. Kara, thank you so much for joining me here in the studio today. I sure appreciate it.
Always a fun time. Always fun.
We want to reiterate to you that we will be back on the air tomorrow afternoon at 1 o'clock and every day through Friday from 1 to 2. We have guests coming in tomorrow. We're going to talk with one of my favorite people, Barb Weiss.
Yes.
Boy, if you...